Yeah, so tonight we're going to have a great time because we are going to do a little bit of mindfulness meditation just to get us into the way of our mind, a little bit of subconscious travel. And then we're going to move on to mindful art appreciation, which is a lovely practice just to enable you to focus on something. And I'm just going to try and just going to do this again. Yeah, just checking in to see who's going to join us this evening. And it's also nice for you to comment and share, to say hello, just to say that you're here and watching. It's also really nice for us to see if you've got any questions or comments, and we'll try and get to them at the end of the practice. So please say hello so that we know you're there. And come and join us. If you've done it before, you'll know how amazing it is. But if you haven't ever experienced mindful art, then this is your opportunity tonight. I'm just going to make my little screen a bit bigger. So a little introduction to me. You might notice that I have a Scottish accent. So I am up here in Stirling, right in the centre of Scotland. My name's Louise Cullen. I own a company called Tranceform. And Tranceform teach mindfulness, where I'm a mindfulness coach. And I've had the real lovely opportunity to bring mindfulness and art appreciation together in this lovely way. And normally what happens is, certainly when we're in this environment at the moment, we can become overwhelmed with our thoughts and the stuff that's going on out there. And we're still in it to some extent, although there's some easing of the restrictions. And normally in mindfulness meditation, we focus on our breath, allowing the breath to slow down, allowing our mind to just be with the breath, allowing our thoughts and our overwhelm just to relax and soften. Just for a moment, so that we can give ourselves a little bit of a time off. And with mindful art, what we can do is allow our focus to be the piece of art. And that's beautiful because there's so much going on with a piece of art. It means our eyes are open, we're not closed in practice like meditation. And it means you've got an opportunity to experience everything about that painting. So if you love art, then this is a really lovely way to appreciate it. And what you might notice is the way you might normally look at a painting might be completely different to how we do this tonight. And you might find insights that you maybe didn't notice before. So if you're watching this, I encourage you to share it with your friends, start a watch party, whatever you want to do on Facebook. Really nice to hear your comments, like I say, any questions. But really from me, get comfy and cozy. This is your opportunity to just let the rest of the world fade out for a few moments and allow us to be here in this space together. And I suppose the only thing you really need to bring, even if you've never practiced mindfulness meditation before, is an open and curious mind to your experience. So no other intention than that, just to have an open and curious mind. So let's have a go, if that's okay. So I'm going to ask my lovely assistant to share the painting that we're going to have a look at this evening. And she'll get that up for me. She'll share the screen. Look at that, as if by magic, here she is, doing her best work. There we go. So you should begin to see this just in a few seconds. Here we are. And how beautiful is this painting? So we get a real sense of scale here in this painting. Absolutely gorgeous. So there it is. Hopefully you can see it, everybody. And feel free to zoom in on the painting if you wish. But we're going to begin just initially by doing a little bit of a settling, grounding and resting meditation practice to get you into your subconscious. And then we're going to bring our eyes to open and allow us to gaze at the painting. So to do so, find that comfortable position. All I ask is that you've got that lovely space to take a nice deep breath in and out. And we'll begin. I'm going to sound the singing bowl to begin and to close the practice today. So we're going to begin, and if this feels good for you, to bring your eyes to closed. And if not, just allow your eyes to go hazy. We're going to begin with a nice long breath in, breathing all the way in and all the way out, nice and long and slow. And if that is your first deep breath of the day, just enjoy that. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Give yourself a wriggle wherever you find your practice today, whether it's on a cushion, on a chair, if you're lying down. Just finding that nice balance and letting us arrive for a few minutes. So we're just bringing ourselves to stillness for anyone that's joining us. We're just finding some stillness at the beginning of this session. And our intention tonight is to allow our mind to focus, to allow our thoughts and overwhelm just to disappear, to allow some time for us to take some time out. So we're going to begin to settle the mind by breathing in nice and long and slow, perhaps for a count of 4, and breathing out for a count of 4 too. So we're equalizing and lengthening the breaths. We're allowing that breath just to get a little bit deeper. We could use the phrase, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. And if it feels good to breathe in this way, to lengthen the breath and breathe in and out nice and long and slow, then just continue to do so. And if not, just allow the breath to return to normal. Then we're going to turn our awareness to our body here, wherever we are, and notice gravity doing its job. So noticing just the weight of our body here, supported by the ground, the cushion or the chair, held here by gravity. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, just here in the practice. We can notice the points of contact we have with whatever's supporting us. If our legs are crossed, we might notice the points that they cross. Our arms and hands feel gentle, soft, maybe relaxed in our lap or by our side. And we can notice here our tummy, so nobody's watching you. Just let that tummy go. Let it become soft. We've been holding our tummies in all day, so let them be free. Shoulders back and down, allowing that lovely deep breath into the body. We might find some length through the spine as the top of our head is drawn towards the ceiling. But we can begin to feel grounded here and supported by the ground, letting go of any tension. And in the same way, the mind can too learn from the body and begin to relax and soften from thought. So we might begin to feel a little bit more at rest here. And we just settle with our breathing. And at any point in the practice, knowing our breath is there, if we want to take that nice long deep breath in and out to rest our mind, to settle our thoughts. So very gently and slowly now that we're in our practice, let's bring our eyes slowly to the painting. This wonderful painting that we're presented with this evening. And as you gaze at the painting, I want you to notice maybe how immediately this makes you feel. Whether you're able to bring to mind maybe a word or a phrase that sums it up for you, that feeling of emotion as we gaze at this painting. You might notice words already coming into mind, but perhaps they're conflicting. And we might want to notice here any preference that we have over the words that we're choosing. Maybe whether noticing if we are trying to look for some kind of positive, and maybe whether we're resisting any negative thoughts. Just allowing it to feel whatever it feels right here as we begin to notice this painting. And it might be different to the way you feel than how you would describe the feeling in the painting. So that might be slightly different. So you might be able to use different words to describe the painting, and it might be contradicting to how it makes you feel. And maybe noticing what you would first notice when you set your eyes to focus on this painting. Where were your eyes drawn? Maybe allowing your eyes to rest and focus wherever they are. Find them in that space, holding your attention just for a short while. And without paying any attention to story or the why, but just in allowing your gaze and your focus to rest there for a few moments in that spot that you found. And then withdrawing from that space, perhaps we can find another point in the painting that holds our gaze or allows our distraction to come. Just noticing. And with noticing, what we can tend to do is just to describe what's there. And you can begin to describe every element of this painting to yourself, noting what's here, without the why or the question. We're just going to notice, almost like a list, as we move through the painting, noting colours and textures and form and shape, and anything that's easily identified to us. Perhaps we can even notice nuances of colour, shape or texture, maybe things that are near and far. Perhaps we can notice light reflections or changes from one side of the painting to another. And as we move further deeper into the practice and into this painting, perhaps we can notice what else is here that we maybe overlooked on first glance. What else holds our gaze? And maybe in this practice, we can begin to notice how this makes us feel now and what's different. Maybe we can notice if something's changed. And can we go a little bit deeper now into the painting? Perhaps, if it's okay, perhaps we can visualize ourselves standing somewhere in that painting and imagine how it might feel to be in this scene. And what do you notice about the place that you've chosen? Can you visualize what might be behind you, beside you? Perhaps you can notice sounds in this space. What can you notice about the air? And maybe it's the sweeping rain that comes in, the breeze atop the hill, and the sound of birds or other animals that might be here. We might even be able to feel the coolness or warmth from the sun, depending where we've chosen to stand. How might it feel to transport ourselves there, just for a moment? And if it feels good to do so, you might bring your eyes to close and just imagine that you're there just for a moment. We can take a nice long deep breath in and all the way out. And then maybe we can step back again. Step back as the observer and begin to look at the painting once more. Perhaps there's a corner or a portion of this painting that has escaped you. Perhaps you can scan the painting once more and find a little escaped corner, a little escaped shadow, and bring our awareness to that part of the painting just for a moment. And as we rest gently with that portion of the painting, perhaps we begin to notice that even in the shadows there's light and shade and nuances of colour and texture and feeling. So just spending some time with that space, with that shadow. And once more, just allowing the whole scene to be taken in. Notice again where our eye is drawn. And perhaps this time our eye is drawn completely different. Maybe we've noticed something that we didn't notice before. Or maybe we're still on that favourite spot, wherever that may be. And you might notice in this painting a certain degree of movement. Perhaps we can become aware of that, the clever texture that's created. We let go of thoughts about other things of earlier today and later on, and allow ourselves to be fixated, focused, in pleasant awareness, resting with this painting. I'm going to allow you some space just to be with some of those thoughts, whether it's the emotion of the painting, the textures, the colours, the space we find ourselves in. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, but with this painting, breathing in our body, sitting in our practice. Allowing your eyes to rest wherever they find them. And then I would like you to close your eyes if it feels comfortable to do so. Allowing almost that snapshot of that painting to remain. So bringing your eyes to closed. Let's take a nice long deep breath in here. Breathing all the way in and all the way out, nice and long and slow. Taking some comfort knowing that the in-breath always follows the out-breath. And resting here in our practice, perhaps noticing just how we feel now as we come towards the end of the meditation, the end of the mindful art. Just resting with that thought, that feeling. And as we come to the end of the practice, we're going to take 3 long deep breaths in, breathing all the way into the bottom of our lungs and breathing all the way out, nice and long and slow. Just looking after your breath, experiencing it even for the first time today. Breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I relax. Very slowly and gently, allowing your eyes to open up back to the light, stretching through the body, giving yourself a little wriggle, stretching up to the sky. Well done, everybody.